Welcome everyone to the Youth Developer. It is Friday's interview and we are so excited about our first guest, Mr. Bruschi from Staten Island. Woo! We love Mr. Bruschi. Now let me tell you why. You know, one of the things that stood out from Mr. Bruschi is our first interaction. Saturday morning, I went in there to talk about white superstars, but he was more interested about the name, he was interested about me, and he was passionate about our mission. And so that, of course, let my heart wide open for him, but that's not the only reason. One of the things that is truly admirable about him is that he believes in the power of individuality. Mr. Bruschi greets every single student. Yes, he stands by the door and greets every child every day into his school because he believes that that makes a difference. And it's true. A picture can tell 1,000 words. A video, millions. But physical touch can change humanity. That connects us. And that truly is something that it should be known by the world and really duplicate, throughout all the schools. Can you imagine every single day in every public school, every child gets a handshake? Sometimes we could go with our days ignoring a child from the morning to the bus to school to everywhere, even home, until you parents, you other youth developers, you get home. It's the only time that a child may have an eye-to-eye contact and a physical touch. It's true, and I've seen it happen. That's why I made it my business for every after-school program, and that my staff knew that it was a special connection that we were having them with the children. So please help me welcome our first guest to the Youth Developer channel, Mr. Bruschi.
People keep on learning.
I've been in the Department of Education for about 18 years. I probably started tutoring when I was probably maybe 19 years old. So I guess there's always been something in me that brought me to education. I taught for 12 years in elementary school, but at the same time I taught in a yeshiva and a boys' high school. In the last 5 or 6 years, my work has gone in a slightly different direction. I became assistant principal. I also started as an adjunct at Wagner College, changed my position a few more times in the Department of Education, moved into the Office of School Improvement as a School Improvement Liaison, a director of that office, and began as an adjunct at the College of Staten Island, and then moved into this work here as principal. Very fortunate. PS14, the school that was formerly here, was a school that I attended as a child, kindergarten and first grade, and to come back here kind of full circle as a principal of the school that's taking over has been a remarkable experience of growth and opportunity for me. So I'm very grateful to be here and have the chance to do what I do. It probably doesn't align very well with what I do in my role as principal, but in order to prepare for my day very well, I get up early. I get up usually between 4:30 and 5 o'clock, and I have about 45 minutes at home by myself, and it allows me to prepare for the day mentally. I go through mental checklists, I check email, I develop a schedule for the day, or I try to develop a schedule for the day, and that's almost sacred time for me. It allows me to find the resources within myself to know what I have to do for the day. So it's a reflecting time, and then also a time to prepare. As far as a change is concerned, I would rather see each of the different organizations and constituent parts of youth development kind of come together to bring the resources to bear on the students and kids in the community. I really look at the work in schools as siloed and mostly in the academic world, but I would like to see that expanded much more clearly as far as the development is concerned. In order to learn, in order to be intellectually engaged, our social, emotional, and psychological beings have to be intact and developmentally ready for that. So supporting our students in their social and emotional development along with their intellectual development is critical. And oftentimes in schools, that intellectual development is seen as the end. But really, I would like to expand the experiences our students have to develop a civic voice and a moral voice in the community. So rather than youth development standing in these silos, I'd rather see those three legs kind of prop up all the work that's done for youth development. I read a lot right now. I guess part of the context here is I have 4 daughters, and one in high school who doesn't always see things the way I do, or maybe everybody does. Maybe I'm the problem, I'm not really sure. But we started reading together a book on mythology, and we're discussing it. And revisiting this book has been a real learning experience for me, and it gives me an opportunity to have structured conversations with her without being so challenging at either end. So that's probably for pleasure more than anything else. The book that I return to the most is Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. It is a book that explores the understanding of quality and what it means, and how to work towards quality, not in a relativistic way, but rather in an objective way. It also is a text that encourages a real sense of inquiry in living a life that's in pursuit of better understanding. So there was an assistant principal, William Bissell, I had in high school. He kind of was the person who helped me figure out that I needed to go to college. I had a professor when I was getting my master's degree in liberal studies, David Travalet, who was a remarkably generous individual, intellect, scholar, person, friend, and he continues to inspire me. As a kind of a cliche, what would Jesus do? I ask myself, what would David do in trying to figure out the right path on the work that I'm doing. As much a mentor as an inspiration and keeping me on the right path. My wife and my children, Jessica and my 4 daughters, I try to figure out what I need to be for them in order to figure out where I need to go. So it helps set my course all the time and reset my course as needed. I have 3 assistant principals who I work with constantly. I don't know if that counts as social support. That might fall into professional support, but I'd like to think that we're friends as well as colleagues. I have 2 or 3 good friends, 2 of them probably from high school and 1 of them in the last 15 years or so. We don't connect nearly as much as we used to, but it's an easy go-to for a deep conversation because we have such a long history together. In the professional position, I find myself more often socializing with the people I work with professionally, but not with everybody, with the people who kind of have the same mindset, and I'm moving into a mindset where what I'm doing in the community is probably the most central way for me to develop my social world. I don't really play very often. A couple of video games I play time to time on my iPad at home. I play chess with my kids occasionally. I find the water very, I'll say, relaxing, so I'll do as much as I can walking down the boardwalk or going to the beach. A friend of mine has a boat. Occasionally we'll go out on the boat. I really try to find a way to release my responsibility sometimes, and I feel like I could pass that out to the water and there's really no consequence there. So that, more than anything else, is my playtime. It was a very tough question. I don't have an easy time doing that. Occasionally I'll celebrate something and we'll go out for dinner. or brunch or something like that. I try to share any of my successes with as many people as possible, and sometimes I'll do things and I won't tell anybody that I'm sharing a success, but other people are probably beneficiaries of what I'm sharing, whether they realize it or not. I have a tough time really accepting credit for some of the work that I do, so I don't really do a lot to celebrate it. To do the best I can, to do the most good all the time. I think the most critical skill is to recognize that you will not be able to do everything that you think you need to do. And you have to develop a sense of priority for the things that must be done in order to be successful in the way you want to be successful.
And that concludes our interview with Mr. Bruschi. If you liked what you heard, please send him your love, your thumbs up at our YouTube. Leave a comment down here. Maybe you want to ask a question, maybe you want to know more, or maybe you want to be in our next interview. Please send us your love, send your love to Mr. Bruschi, and we are so excited, and we'll see you next time for our next interview.
I can't stop the